This is Team GT MKSM's Deliverable 3 Team Progress Report. Our project manager is Sebastian Jaramillo, our developers are Michael Gilreath, Chris Landry, and Miles Lefkowitz, and our QA is done by Kevin Lee. In this project, our team is tasked with building a Fire-based application that's physician-facing and allows physicians to enter a patient's information and identify the social determinants of health that could impact that patient's adherence to referrals. When a patient impacted by a social determinant of health is identified, the application should launch a referral to social services that can provide assistance. The goal of this application is to improve referral engagement. The initial focus of this application is on transportation. The team's currently developing the application prototype. We have our environment set up and a working front end that physicians can use to search for patients, which prompts a fire call that hits a patient database and returns information about that patient. Our outstanding tasks for the next few weeks include being able to extract patient zip codes from that fire call, identifying zip codes that meet or don't meet a certain threshold by hitting a database, loading the questionnaire that's returned if that threshold is not met, loading the business logic for launching a referral depending on the results of that questionnaire, and returning the appropriate URL for a referral.
Hi, this is Chris Landry. I'm here to go through a quick demo of our application as it stands right now. So this is a prototype, and obviously the look and feel may change before the end of the project. Our website is a single page web application. It's got a Node.js server running behind it, and it's written in Angular. And when you first navigate to it, you're going to see a screen that looks pretty much like this. From here, what you can do right now is you can enter in a patient ID. And what that's going to do is that's going to go talk to a Fire server and retrieve the patient with that ID as a record through the Fire JSON API. Right now it's connected to the Georgia Tech Fire server, but that could be swapped out pretty easily for another one. After you enter a patient ID and you click submit, it's going to fetch that patient, and based on some logic that is not in place yet, right now it's just always true, it's going to display some links for the social determinant of health information. Right now, as you can see here, it displays a transportation questionnaire. Right now that's kind of a placeholder. We would expect there to be something a little more formal looking there. And based on the user's response, it will show a link to some useful information on how you can help that patient with their problem. So on this screen, I've clicked yes, and you can see there's an Aunt Bertha transportation help link right there. And when we click on that link, it takes us to the Aunt Bertha website, and it has pulled in the postal code of that user. In this case, it was somewhere in Boston. And it gives you a scrolling list of services that you can refer that person to help them with their need. In this case, transportation. So that's where our demo stands right now. So what remains to be done with the project is that we need to load the transportation data into a database and connect that up to our server. This should contain addresses and link that to some value that we can use to determine whether or not we should even bother showing the transportation questionnaire. We're also going to improve the questionnaire slightly based on the prepare questionnaire questions that we can pull from. If we have time, we would like to examine some areas other than transportation that we could hook up data and connect questions for those as well. And we are also currently restricting our information to just Georgia as far as the data that it's going to be hooked up behind. If we have time, we'd like to expand that to include the rest of the United States.